You know, I like Sonic Adventure. I think it's a great translation of the 2D classic games into a 3D environment. But how does it do that? Let's see that right now. The classic Sonic games adopted a style of level design quite unique for its time, that I call multi-tiered level design. Instead of having a singular obstacle course that tests the player's ability to use the moves at hand, Sonic levels usually have multiple paths stacked on top of each other, each representing a different playstyle. The middle path, the most common one among new or casual players, is the regular path for a typical playthrough. It doesn't have anything particularly interesting. It's for people who play games while not focusing too hard on the experience itself, but rather as a means of relaxation. A simple and fun way to play games casually, but not necessarily all that interesting. The top path is harder to reach, usually a few parts of the level will give you the opportunity to reach it. That path is meant for advanced players, being usually the fastest of the three, but the hardest one to stay on, as there are way more opportunities to go down than up the path. That path is meant for people who want to time attack the game. It is meant to pose a constant, active threat of falling down to a lower route, which, while in a normal playthrough would mean nothing, as it's just being flung in a different part of the level, but for someone who is aiming at not only play the level, but play them efficiently, they can be a death sentence. The bottom path is usually where you end up if you fell from a middle path. Although not necessarily accidental, the bottom path is usually filled with enemies and gizmos, but also secrets to find. It is meant for players who are more interested in exploring a location in all its details. While it seems antithetical to what Sonic is advertised as, making a game that is adapted to multiple playstyles allows you to touch a wide variety of players, and therefore making an enjoyable experience for a wide audience. Now, why do I explain all that? Well, it's important to understand that Sonic levels are built on this premise, the idea of revisiting them, either to find new secrets, or more importantly, to be as efficient as possible to beat them, as fast as possible. Increase a gameplay that encourages getting better at it, to improve your time and go faster. They have similar designs to arcade games, in the idea that you have to beat your best score, when a game that usually starts and ends. Now here's the thing, Sonic Adventure, the game following those classic games, has none of that. Levels are typically structured like a traditional platformer, with a singular obstacle course meant for Sonic to go through using his jump and his newly acquired Jump Dash, which next to some enemies can be used as a homing attack, with high speed reserved for automated segments with set pieces such as the arcade chase or the rolling boulder. At least, that's what it seems at first. It's important to remember that game design philosophies are not rigid sets of rules on how to make games, but merely ideas that can take on multiple forms. The idea of Sonic is one of disparity between players and different playstyles, and Sonic Adventure is able to achieve that with its movement, more specifically, the Spin Dash. Charging it up gives you a burst of speed unparalleled in the series. Coupled with the fact that you can do it on the move, you can reach insane speeds in mere seconds. But the depth of the game doesn't lie in your ability to mash a button, rather the way you can implement this burst of speed and a jump together within the levels found in the game. The Spin Dash allows you to traverse obstacles faster by properly aligning yourself to jump over the obstacles. Sonic's jump height is also dependent on the speed and the incline of the terrain, so you can combine it with an upward slope to reach part of the level placed above you. That's where the differing path lies, in how you tackle the same problem. Being able to go fast in Sonic Adventure requires understanding how to use the game's mechanics and physics to beat the level in record time. A platforming section is presented as that, a section, and how you're willing to tackle it, either by simply playing the game casually or taking more risk, is how the game is able to create an experience that doesn't go against the original classic game's vision. This is why I'd love to see more out of the future of Sonic games, on top of perhaps bringing back more traditional top path requiring the use of physics to reach, while the middle path is more akin to a traditional platformer, and from what I've played of Shadow Generations, seems to handle this idea not too bad, while still has a lot of design elements reminiscent of boosts. It puts a lot more emphasis on actual platforming. I like it, and I think that Shadow Generations kind of resembles Sonic Adventure in a way. Yeah, and that's it. I like Sonic Adventure.